Hello, hi, sorry for being late, but not in growth, but with the release of a new video. It's been a busy week, I've been fled back and forth, that's why I'm bald, and in general, my armpits were sweating. I wasn't tired even from 10 hours of Shrek. But in the end, everything turned out in my favor, and that's great, now I can get some air on the weekend. The SSD came by the way, 6 days from Hong Kong to the Central District of Russia. It's just fantastic, can you imagine? Everything is fine with it. I will show you its speed in comparison with the hard 5400 which used to take its place, but this is another time. And today we have on the agenda Need for Speed Heat. We will ride, look for a bumper adventure, set records on the radar, jump, drift and engage in the most expensive tree felling in the world. Why is this necessary, you may ask? I stupidly want to accumulate a little, coins to buy Koenigsegg Redra and pass this game 100%, well, to try it at least. I think with a horse all the radars we will submit without difficulty. Touch its dance, what can the coolest car of the free, how much can this bucket shake after purchase? I wasn't interested in it anywhere, I didn't Google it, but in general it is not difficult for me to check it, because I can perform the same tasks and grind. Taught me that are worth playing as Need for Speed PayPal and of course Need for Speed No Limits. Did you race in the No Limits by the way? In my opinion, this is still one of the best games for mobile phones, but I also respect Angry Birds of course. But damn, to pass the campaign you need 3 or 4 months to go every day and spend gas, and wake up at night to spend tickets in a special event with a ghostly chance to win a car without donut. But something in this is still there, not for nothing did I sit there for so long, at least a minimum of advertising and beautiful graphics, and a lot of cars that differ only in the appearance. A couple of times I was banned, however, the first time for the fact that I screwed myself 50 million gold, the second time for the fact that I put an extension to buy parts for gold, well, when the original store did not offer anything sensible, except, drawings for a Dodge Viper, and the third time for the fact that I knocked out inaccessible cars, but there were many traces because I accidentally formed 3 McLaren P1, and one of them had 170 PR. Good game overall. My top car was a Lotus Exige with all the minced meat. It took 1054 PR and basically dracala a lot of people in the competition in the cartridge, and the second car was LaFerrari 1013 PR, well, I did not have the patience to rock this cart. Let's go back all the same to the heat. You saw I have 1 million already, you need 1,200,000 for the horse. Well, for each activity we get a little drips, as it seems without a fuss I rode and earned, but something 3 stars is problematic in places it happens to take. If jumps and drifts still as the norms, then radars are not. Here is I have Zakunini on maximum Dodge Viper, can borrow 375 km per hour, and you try first its until such speed of acceleration, and then hold its with account for irregularities terrain, with those that it ceases turn, and still traffic, realistic arcade game, help, mercy. And still laughing from drops in texture, and still sometimes returns the wheelbarrow in the original position because you fell, and you did not fall, but just wanted to fall, especially in the mountains often happens. Drifted a little, and then you flew out on the sand, and you have tires for the highway, well, and got stuck and stayed in the forest to live. In my opinion, it is easier to eat the keyboard than to take everything here perfectly, but I will not check, and you can play on the steering wheel? I personally don't. I used to have a steering wheel, I played with it back in Colin McRae 2004. There was a bass and pedals, in general, a stylish thing, but bulky. It still had its own toys, different racings. I was much younger then and it was exciting, but it's inconvenient. For example, you drove in the race, tired, you want to ride in the CSS, you need to spin it all and remove. Well, since then I'm all on the keyboard, and I can turn the steering wheel in the car, I have enough. Sorry that you can't hear the car honking, farting, and whistling, because I turned off the sound, well, because I didn't turn off the music in game, but I should do it, because it sings the same things. During the day one thing, at night is another, and I always forget whether the music switches on 1 or 2 on the numpad. In general it is nuts, when you for the 10th time singing, twallara, twallara, tyts 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 there, yeah, well if you drove it you got it. Although I say it like a rat, an excellent game, I even understood what for I spent 0 rubles, aha. But it saddens me that the last games are so hard to break, their last norms were hacked only this game, and also Star Wars Jedi and the third Borderlands. Maybe our time is running out, and with the development of the internet, the torrent freebies shop will end, well, or at least stop breaking AAA projects, in parentheses, not very AAA, from Electronic Arts, Rockstar, maybe we will not wait for Cyberpunk. Although this is the release of the crack game, it's like the second release date, just like GTA 5 marked the release on consoles, in a year on the PCs, and then even hacked. Chic raised the popularity in general. And, well, who will have good toys to break, so this is our favorite Ubisoft. And then Ubisoft will buy all the companies in the world, maybe even Microsoft, although it seems easier to buy Russia than Microsoft, and there will be a nuclear cyber-communism, where everyone will have all the games and the question will only be whether to buy you a console on AMD or a computer on AMD, or an Apple phone on AMD Snapdragon, and maybe take a brand new Samsung Galaxy Fold Drift QZ 228 Elbrus edition. Stop smoking, Marsh reads. But some of this will happen, I assure you. About why I decided to play the computer today and not some hardware. I believe that the strength of the computer is that you can afford to play all the games, even 30 years old, even new, even emulators roll. No device can do this anymore. If you don't play games, why do you need such power? Therefore, the policy of my Green Party will be as follows: we will look at the hardware, and play games, maybe some tests and software flow catch, something to be nostalgic, something to disperse, a little bit of everything, and all this in 2 languages. If you have a computer, you need to play. Do not look at the numbers of FPS, do not chase graphene, and play something that is really interesting, relax, look for bugs, enjoy the gameplay. Do not throw mud at the game, don't say that it was better before, and in those games that were before do not play for reasons of irritation or some other. In general, I urge you, do not lose your gamer, do not lose your hobby in the pursuit of fashionable hardware, it is harmful to your mood and to your wallet. How many stories have I heard about people who collected a lot of computers for a lot of money, but in the end did not get the joy of buying that they so much wanted? It's really sad. I had something similar when I dreamed of playing Watch Dogs first somehow, and I first saw it on a friend's computer in 2014, played it on Ultras. At that time it seemed to me just next gen, destructibility, really interesting things in the style of Click X to hack, the game is atmospheric, it has a lot of music, well, it's just top. I really wanted to play it more than all other games in the world, even more than in Minecraft with shaders. And so I got this, passed it on Ultras, and you know, this computer is what I really needed, taking into account my interests and capabilities. By the way, you can learn more about it from my 2 videos, this and this, please. Now I have a box that somehow can blow out any game in 30 FPS. Do you want to play something? Here, he gives you this opportunity. You don't want to? Then you are on the Ultra 60 FPS does not want to play it. That's the whole truth. And after 5 attempts, I finally get on the monorail, but it is very easy to fall, just like on shit, and keep in mind, if you fall on the roof, you will be restored to where you fell from, and if on the wheels, then you should climb again. And for each banner you will have to climb again, and there are 2 of them on the course, one is on the way here next, and the second is further on the roof. And at the end of the road, there's a flamingo waiting for us. I must say that we have almost accumulated. I still drifted behind the scenes and drove in some places, but this is insignificant. Instead of a bunch of activities, you could just go through one race, but it's good when you have several opportunities to do something. You still certainly noticed that I have on this machine on the left side written, Sanya pooped. It's just a fact. What's wrong? And it doesn't matter what exactly Sanya pooped. I tell you responsibly that any Sanya shits, well, just don't go to a fortune teller. Even that Sanya who was just born, until he becomes officially documented as a sled, here he will have time to poop, yes. So this rule is followed almost more often than Newton's laws, the laws of meanness, or the clauses of the Russian constitution. Well, finally Koenigsegg, welcome. So, children, what do you know about Sweden? And I know this, Sweden is a country where 4 awesome things were born, Koenigsegg, SNES, Glock, and of course Minecraft. Well, few people can afford a horse, but this is a real icon of racing games, a real rocket, almost as cool as Desert Eagle from Shooters. More than 1,000 horsepower, and in kilowatts it will be a little more than a fucking thing, space design, automatic transmission, expressive look of the headlights, well, you can still do good kickflips on it. Get your head up right after the car dealership, cool, cool. I'm fucking disappointed right away, but why? Because it has the maximum potential, and it turns out that it is not much better than what we had, that's a bummer. Guys, if you know, tell me which car will be faster with a full swing than a horse and how much. This at all pop music, guys, given that I wanted to wheelbarrow for moreover to on direct super drive, and don't care, I put here tank nitro on 12 liters, but this will not help us. Yes well these records, lesson for morons, no thanks I don't need a stupid wheelchair, why. So be it, we will try to remove traffic by switching to the night. So, take the acceleration and take off, pour it on guys, pour it on. All, gathered, one more time, we will do everything, a slipper in the floor and extinguish, 1,000 horses, guys, well. All God, I suggest to wind this car on some post and finish with this mockery. It's impossible.
Пострадала лишь твоя гордость.
And my booty. Thank you all, everyone is free.